Well, we almost lost everything. So we almost thought we were going to be living in a trailer. Not up here in the hills, though, in the flats, man, with a bunch of other trailers. We were this close till I was like, fuck it. How can I free myself from this situation? And not everybody's going to have a luxury to do what I did, but that's why I started that OnlyFans.
You're listening to Studio 22.
It's okay. This is my interview. I'm going to
right,
introduce the two of you right now.
Yeah, we just let it flow, and then we can do whatever.
cool.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah.
Anyway, the intro is I want you to meet my friends here, Brock and Will. This is my show. It's the Drea de Matteo show. Okay, I'm just kidding. When you guys go to Comic-Con, what are you doing there?
So we bring our comic books. So we sign books as writers and creators and I guess stars of the comics.
What is the name of this comic book?
Kane.
With you.
Kane.
You're Kane.
Yeah.
And so we have a booth with our comic book company and our distributor and partner, Rogue Matter, another comic company. They own over 60 IPs and all the artists come. So we do a lot of stuff at the booth, but then we also incorporated the podcast and we do panels. We had like a 6 guest panel with other artists and stuff like that. And then we did a big presentation on the main stage where we showed like an animated trailer of our comic book because we're doing that animated show of it.
Yeah. So you guys, that's what you're shooting here with all the green screens?
That was for a photo shoot, actually. That's a surprise to Brock that I need to show him. That's really cool.
Yeah. And so Comic-Con is like, it's a lot of good networking, especially in the same space. We did some meet and greets, fans get to come and, get books, limited edition stuff like that. But yeah, there's a ton of different stuff you can do, but it's really just about getting yourself out there a little more, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Brock's so good with the fans too. It's really cool to like see the interaction and be out there.
Do you let them jump on your shoulders?
Sometimes. I've done a lot of picking people up, actually.
I'm sure you do.
I realized really quick that I needed to stop doing that because the low back.
All those
feel
fans.
Low back after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
but
God.
no, it's fun. It's interesting. It's a different crowd. It's definitely a different crowd. A lot of people dressing up and doing stuff.
They're just a little crazy.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of them, so I know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It's a crowd.
It's a crowd.
It's a big party scene, actually. I think a lot of people are there to have fun,
Big
right?
time.
Which is really cool. And like, I've had some of the most fun after the convention, just going to the bars with everyone and doing all that too.
Yeah, I have to be careful at those things. Like sometimes they put me in the same hotel as the conventions. You're talking about the big Comic-Cons. I'm talking about like the ones all across America.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But how would you like navigate through there if you're in the same hotel? And
I always I'm with Robbie.
Yeah.
I'm with my boyfriend, and I have to get out of I have to get out of the hotel if they put me in that hotel.
Right.
It's mayhem because they are partying, and it's not even because they're hunting me down. They're fucking going bananas in the hallways, wasted, and this old lady is like, "Hey, I want to go to sleep."
Oh yeah.
that's so funny. At a Comic-Con,
Yeah,
you don't think about it like that, but
They're wild. They're dressed up. They're partying. It's MDMA hell.
Oh wow.
Getting after it.
Mushrooms. Forget about it.
I've only
with
done
Pikachu.
LA and San Diego, but I definitely want to go check out the ones, like you're saying, across the country. I want to get out there.
They're nuts, man.
Yeah.
There's a few great ones. There's like Monster Mania. Is it Monster Mania or Chiller? There's a few that are really, really big.
Have you done like the Dallas one or the Anime Expo or anything like that?
I've done a lot of them.
Yeah.
I haven't done any since before the lockdown, really. Maybe I haven't done a real convention, but I was doing a ton of them. I don't remember. There's so many of them.
There's
And some of them are huge, man.
Yeah.
They're fun.
San Diego's massive. I heard New York's pretty big too, right?
Oh yeah.
The Javits one.
Is
I've
that
done
it?
that.
Yeah.
The which?
The New York, the big Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's a
haven't
big
done
one.
that one.
I've done that one.
I bet it's cool.
When you go, are you going for Sopranos? Or are you going for other shows, or is it like to promote?
It's usually Sopranos,
Yeah.
but I think when I did New York, it might have been Sons. I think I was with some of the guys.
I mean, you've been a part of so many legendary shows. It's like pick your poison, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
It's true. Yeah, they're all very Comic-Con worthy. And now I heard they're coming out with the Adriana Pop doll.
Oh, nice.
Pop? Is that right? Funko Pop. Listen to me, I sound like the most 90-year-old person ever.
Those are big.
Pop doll.
People love those.
I honestly, I didn't even know what those were until I went to Comic-Con. They had like 20-foot stacks of them. I'm like, okay, these must be popular, right?
Well, I have kids too, so I know all about those fucking things. I have them all over my house.
That's
Hell
awesome.
Every Naruto one, and
How does that feel having those?
all the Pop dolls.
Yeah.
I mean, I like them. I buy them for the kids all the time. I think they're cute. But now I'm over it. The kids are older. I'm like, get this shit out of the house.
That's awesome.
But we were collecting toys. We have a lot of toy collections. So
That's cool.
Well, speaking of the shows, like when did you first get into acting and realize that was something you really were passionate about and wanted to do?
I was a film student like you. I went to NYU Film School.
Directing.
Oh, great.
Right?
Yeah, for directing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to act really. I mean, maybe I did sort of secretly, but I thought like that was stupid. I thought it was like I don't know.
Which is funny because I feel like most people that come into the industry, they go in through acting and then they realize, oh, I like directing or I like writing or I like something else, you know? It was different for you. It was the opposite, right?
I think so. Yeah, I grew up in the theater. My mom's a playwright and she taught playwriting. So I would have to watch everybody act all day. I fucking hated it, man. I was like, well, I want to act. Like, I want to play house. You know what kids do, just play house.
Yeah.
And so I guess I did like the opposite of what theater people think is cool, which is to go try to make movies, stuff like that. But then I started partying too much because I was at Comic-Cons all the time. I'm just kidding. I was partying too much and I never got my films done. So I'd have to star in my own films. I'd literally have to figure out how to jack the 16 millimeter film camera because that's how old I am, guys.
No, that's not even.
This is your grandma session. This is the granny show.
That's iconic though. Like if we can't even, we're trying to get film now to
I
make
know.
stuff like that's that's when if you say you're shooting someone on film right now, they're like, that's badass.
Well, Robbie, my boyfriend, who's sitting across the room, since nobody can see what we're pointing at or whatever the podcast, but he shoots on 16 millimeter.
Robbie can come
awesome.
join us too if he wants. We can get another chair.
He's like, I don't know. He's like, I'm happy on the couch. But he shoots on 16 millimeter.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
awesome.
insane.
I've seen a lot of different variations of that. People doing digital version too, like trying to recreate that. It's not the same. You know, it's never going to be the same, but there's something about keeping that art alive and keeping that film and
It's expensive now.
yeah.
Didn't Nolan do it for Oppenheimer? Wasn't he doing
I
70
heard
millimeter, I think?
It was, right, Robbie?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure that's pretty spectacular. But the 16 is so kind of degraded. And when we were in film school, that was like the poor man's film. It was like they're not making you do it on Super 8 or 8 millimeter, but they'll give you the 16. And then the 35 is like your big, wow. They don't even give you a 35 in film school.
Right.
You're like, I have no idea because at my film school, we're all on digital. I mean, I was editing on an editing bay and splicing and cutting my film.
Wow.
It was pretty cool.
That is cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. And when I met Robbie, I was trying to impress him with my film knowledge and how I used to do things. And he's like, yeah, because he's almost your age.
Love it.
He's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I never really did that before, but he does shoot on 16, but he transfers it and then edits it
digitally.
I guess digitally.
Yeah.
And then, but it's tough. It's tough because then you also don't have the sound. Not that the sound's ever clean on something like that anyway, even with digital, you guys have these microphones, you know.
I mean, I think there's so many reasons why it's like a good thing to shoot on film too, though, because it really makes you appreciate like every single shot you're getting, right? It's not just like, oh, we can delete it and reshoot it, or we can, it's like really a part of the craft and a part of the history of the medium. And I love it. It's like, I wish I learned it, right? And I wish I had that skill. I just, never picked it up.
I actually think that when I watch all this digital stuff being edited, when he's working, the film was 10 times easier. It's so much easier. They're developing it for you. You're getting it back in these, in your cans, and you're just laying it out from spool to spool and laying it across the thing, and you're watching it. it was a lot easier, I thought, than I don't understand any of this stuff, man.
Right.
I can see that though, because you are doing that digitally now, but then there's 900,000 different variations of things with color correction and added stuff that you can transition, like everything you could do now. There's almost an overabundance of that versus
I think
like,
so.
yeah,
There's an overabundance of everything now.
yeah,
Agreed with
Even
that.
with these cars, man. Like, oh, you got to figure out how to use this mechanical, weird, computerized car.
Yeah.
No, just give me my old Bronco. Like,
Yeah,
I don't want to deal
yeah.
with this.
Yeah, I just
Love
went with a 100% electric car, and I can't even like drive it to Vegas. I can't.
Oh,
I'm
no.
trading it in for definitely something different, something either a hybrid or gas powered. But like the batteries don't last long enough, and it's great for like getting around LA. But I, road trip a lot, and it just
How
they're
long
not
have you
there
guys
yet.
been friends?
About
almost a decade now.
decade now.
A
Yeah.
decade. You didn't tell him not to buy that electric car?
I'm not. Wait.
It's a lease. I didn't buy it, which is good.
You know what's
But-
funny is his mom really has told me, he's like, you got to talk him into getting a truck. You got to get him a truck. And
I'm getting an SUV
Yeah.
for sure.
But
Nice. You
I've
need
always
the
been
truck he has, man.
I got a
That
truck.
thing is
That's a
massive.
really good truck.
Well, now you guys got a truck.
Yeah, Robbie.
You got the truck of all trucks.
We do have the truck. The only thing is that our truck's going to be hard to maintain and to
Yeah.
I mean, those kind of tires. When he bought it, we bought a 6-ton truck, 6-ton. What is it?
5-ton.
5-ton truck. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking
6x6, yeah.
6x6. That's what it is. But I thought, oh, this is going to be great to drive cross country, Robbie. He's like, this is going to be the most wretched drive with those tires. I mean,
Yeah.
they're like 2 feet deep inside the treads. I don't know about that car now.
Yeah.
I'm worried, Robbie.
Are they like off-road tires, like,
They're just
or more like?
they are.
See, I don't know
all
much
terrain,
about.
but they're massive. I don't even know how big those are. Like I've got
They're-
40s on mine, and
they're
they
this
wouldn't
tall.
even compare to that.
Oh my god,
They're
okay.
this tall.
So
Yeah.
finding those tires is tough, and that's what I was talking to Robbie about too. There's these government sites that like govdeals.com you can go on and they'll auction off stuff, so you can get lucky and find that whole set for like $400, but you have to look. Like you really got to look and hopefully win that auction. Otherwise, I can't. You hopefully just keep some good run flat stuff on you and plug the tires.
I don't know,
how you
man.
find new ones.
He already sourced them, I guess, in Alabama.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
he's driving it from Nashville to here in a couple of weeks
That's
by
awesome.
himself. It's freezing. There's no
heater,
insulation.
yeah.
It is bare bones, man.
Oh yeah.
It's cool though.
But we're gonna turn it into a Ferrari on the inside because I'm Italian. I'm gonna drive him crazy.
Yeah,
Love that.
I love that stuff. Yeah, obviously I've been into that for a while. I got that truck, and originally I just kind of lifted it and had it big, but then I saw all of a sudden I was like, man, I want to go off. I want to be able to go anywhere I want. And now I've got the truck and the trailer that I have done that and love doing it. And it's just, there's something about it,
How
just to
does
know you
that-
can run someone over if you need to,
yeah,
you know?
he likes that idea. He's got
Yeah.
videos already of the guy that he bought it from running over like houses and things.
That's awesome. Yeah.
How does the camper work in the all terrain?
It's insane.
Is it
I would
really
say
great?
I would say it has better suspension than my truck, and I put
Really?
a lot into the truck. Yeah, it's got 4 tires on it, all independent, and then airbag suspension. You can change the level of it, and I mean I got it almost like I thought I was gonna tip it over at one point because it was doing some crazy stuff, but it'll go anywhere.
Really?
It really will, yeah. And the whole thing, I bought a generator for my first time taking it out, just to power it, and it ended up. This is a big mistake on my part. Is I bought the wrong plug to go in. It was a 3-prong. It's a 3-prong plug instead of the 4 that I bought, and it didn't work. So I was out there for a week.
No,
But the thing runs off solar, so it charged
That's
up
right.
every morning.
I forgot
I
about
had
that.
full power the whole time.
And the solar really, so it doesn't even come outfitted with the generator. I thought it would.
No, yeah,
It
no,
doesn't. So you have to get your own
it's
generator.
all solar, but it's got battery packs in there, so it's
And that solar is really working.
It's before 10 a.m. every day. It was back to 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And this is not OBI. This is their other company. What's it called?
This one's called Conqueror.
Conqueror.
Yeah.
That's the mother company to OBI.
It's not even. It's a separate company. Yeah. OBI Campers is their
They're
U.S.
smaller?
version.
Oh.
Yeah. They are, this is the
This
biggest
is an
one.
ad for them right now.
Yeah.
Just
No.
kidding.
No. Which is all. Yeah.
Are you guys
I'm sure they're gonna be
sponsoring us?
stoked, yeah.
Where's my camper?
Yeah. But
We
they
love
Guys.
them. We love them.
Vince.
Vince,
Send it
are you
over.
guys watching this shit? There's a
Send
lot
it
of
over.
cameras.
But they are, that one's from more of like Australia and South Africa.
Oh, really?
And they're just more advanced. And that was the first one of its kind here in America.
That was
the first
the
one.
Conqueror.
Yeah.
And it's their company.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, write that down, Robbie.
Check it out.
So that one's better.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
That's what you want.
Okay,
That's
I don't
what
want to
you
mess
want.
with the other one.
Because we're talking about taking that mobile, like not
Yeah.
that one, but we're going to build another one out with the mobile podcast.
Oh,
Without the beds inside, like more of a
Yeah.
studio setup.
yeah, that's what I've been driving them crazy, saying that if we get it fixed, that it has to be able to house the podcast when and
Yeah.
if we start it.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the beds, like, we were operating in there pretty easily.
Yeah.
Like there's space.
There is space, but it's definitely not like you're
not
not getting
built
4
for it.
people in there. Yeah. It's not comfortable in the sense of like we're sitting down at a table right now.
Yeah,
Well, we had
But
like
you make it work.
Brock and Rampage Jackson, like 2 giant men, and we were all
Yeah.
like relatively
You
comfortable.
made it work. It was fun.
Yeah.
was fun.
amazing,
Yeah.
cozy.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, but we'll get you on that.
Can
Well,
you stand in there? No, you can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can?
It's 6'7" in there.
So
Oh, I'm
you're
like-
Like
so
right
you're
at
not.
your.
You're basically
Right in my head.
skimming the.
There's a vent in there that I hit every now and again, but other than that, yeah, it's good.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
6'7".
Yeah.
What the hell are you people eating? Where are you from?
I'm from California.
You
Iceland.
are?
Yeah. I mean,
You're
I don't
from
know.
Iceland?
No,
Oh.
sorry.
I don't
was
know where
joking,
my
but
dad's
yeah,
from,
yeah.
but I'm from California.
Zane is from Iceland.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Kane.
I used to drink like a gallon of milk a day at least when I was a kid. Yeah. I craved it. I couldn't help it. They would buy 2 gallons just so I could have one of them. And I'm sure that there is some, I don't know, whatever they're pumping in the
Steroids.
cows. Yeah. Whatever they were pumping in there, it went into me.
There you
So-
go.
Some pus.
No, yeah.
Steroids.
Disgusting. Yeah. Thank you. I can't drink it now. So
I have like so I was a critical studies major. I was less production. I did a lot of PA work over the summers to like get that production in, but my main thing was like theory and crit studies. So I'm going to like take it really philosophical here.
Uh-oh.
Playing such iconic female roles, roles that have cemented themselves in film and television history forever. How do you think the role of women has changed from, when The Sopranos launched to now? When you think of like movies that just launched, like Madame Web and stuff like that, how do you think the female hero in cinema and television has really evolved?
That's a good question. I'm so out of my industry that I don't really pay attention to what's happening out there. I don't even know what was Madame.
Madame Web. Yeah,
What is that?
It's a Spider-Man
What is that?
spinoff.
Oh wait, did I see that? Oh no, I didn't see it. I saw what was the last Spider-Man that was out?
No Way Home.
I think so. And there were a bunch. I think there were female spider ladies. What do you call them? I don't know.
Spider Woman,
Spider
Spider
chicks?
Girl.
Sounds about
You call
Yeah.
them
right.
spider chicks?
Spider Chicks works. Yeah.
I think that, if you want to look at the grand scope of over time, I think female characters have always been really important. If you go back to Shakespeare, they're pretty powerful.
yeah.
But Sopranos in particular, I know that's probably the most iconic, and Sons of Anarchy too. But I guess Desperate Housewives. Okay, now I'm
Literally,
just going to keep
yeah,
going.
keep going.
Now I can keep going because all those women were beasts. But I guess it's not common to watch any kind of show or entertainment where the person is just completely degraded all the time. Although I do like those roles a lot because that kind of woman exists in society. My character on Sopranos was not one of the strong characters. Everyone always thinks I played a tough guy, but I didn't. I played the victim. And in fact, on all those shows, I played the victim. Maybe not as much on Desperate Housewives, but that wasn't a real role that I was around for. It was just kind of a short thing. But as far as women in film, I don't know because I don't even consider myself as part of the industry and I don't pay attention to what's happening in it very much, which I think that in the last 3 years, things have gotten really confusing with anything, whether, women consider themselves a minority on some levels and the whole feminist movement. And we've taken it backwards with a lot of random ideologies that kind of fit this strange government situation that we're in. I don't know how to say any of these things. But I definitely think there's tons of strong female characters out there. What I don't love is when they want to fucking just knock their audiences over the head with it because the studio has a marching order to develop a project where someone is going to be like this and like that. You know, what you're seeing now with like all these commercials, like all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, why is like everybody represented in a group right now? Like it doesn't have to be like that all the time. It should be organic and natural. And people should just be represented because they're represented, like not because it's a marching order or an ideology that it's weird to me. The whole Hollywood system, what I think is weird about the Hollywood system that's not great is that women don't get paid as much as men. That part sucks. But as far as the roles go, you know, women bitching that they don't get to do all the superhero stuff. There's a lot of female superheroes, and it's badass when there are, and some do well and some don't. And I don't know, man. I just feel like, I don't know how to get philosophical about it. I feel like everything kind of ebbs and flows all the time.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. That's a great answer. I definitely think there's cycles and, you know, evolving and devolving, right?
Like, I don't want to play someone who has strength.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's fucking boring.
Well, and I
Exactly.
think, like you said, like those characters, I think they were so relatable and iconic because they weren't, there's a term, Mary Sue, where it's like a female hero with no flaws, right? Like a Miss Marvel, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
or Captain Marvel, I should say. But that's human, right? Humans have flaws.
Yeah.
So
lots
if you
of them.
make something without flaws, you can't really relate to it, right?
I like when there's like a bazillion flaws.
Right,
I
for
like
sure.
like really fucked up. Like, give me the drug addict. I want to be the prostitute. I want to be all of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more
So-
fun to play. Like I think it's even more fun to play, you know, and the antagonist, you know, like somebody who's dark and evil and has some
Yes.
fucked up shit going on inside they got to deal with, and like how do they function every day? Like your characters you played have been so complex and you've done such a like incredible job bringing them to life, and it's like,
Thanks, guys.
but it's true though. I mean,
You
it
guys
really
are
is
just fucking
true.
with me because I'm here right now.
That's right. As soon as you leave, as soon as you walk out of here, no.
I think it's audiences would agree for sure.
Yeah. How much of that played into, because I was reading that your character, Sopranos, Adriana, like was only written for one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure
Yeah.
you had this conversation a million times, but how did it go from the one to what it became?
I got lucky.
Yeah.
I was in the right place at the right time, and David Chase loved me. And that was that. She was never meant to be series regular. If it were, they would have gone to like, I don't know, like Mira Sorvino, Marissa Tomei, Debbie Mazar, all the girls that had already like sort of proven themselves in that role. They know they can do the accent because that's a super specific accent.
Yeah.
That can be really fake. And that show could have, you know, had a bunch of caricatures, but I think David liked that I never took it to that level, but I thought I was. Like, I would even go to him and be like, can I not say Christopher today? Can I say Chrissy? So you hear me say Chrissy through the show, but for the most part, he's like, no, you have to say Christopher the way you say it. And I'm like, but I sound so phony saying it. But he's like, nope, that's it. And now I'm known for how I say it. It's like Matt LeBlanc's "How you doing?"
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it was I auditioned for the pilot. I didn't get any parts, but he liked me. I auditioned for the pilot to play Christopher's girlfriend for one scene. It wasn't even, it was never meant to be a regular role. He was just dating lots of girls. And then I read for the Russian girl. And then I read for like 4 roles in the pilot. Got nothing. And then he called my agent at that time and said, we like her because she's Italian, but she doesn't fit the part. I thought I was auditioning for a show about opera singers.
Oh, wow.
So we didn't get the scripts. So I didn't know what it was. And they always tell you, go in, clean slate, nondescript. My hair was in a ponytail, pulled back, no makeup. And I'm just going in to be like a blank canvas. I didn't know I needed to go in there and fucking tiger stripes and diamonds. So then, but they offered me the part of the hostess in some restaurant who turns down Lorraine Bracco, and James Gandolfini. No one knew who Jim was yet, but everyone knew who Karen was. Lorraine Bracco, Karen, and Goodfellas. So I'm dying when I have to go say my lines to her and to tell her she can't come into the restaurant, even though I'm acting. I felt so bad. I was like, how can I tell Lorraine Bracco that she can't come into the restaurant? But I did it. I finally got my lines out, but they had to do my takes. Talk about, we were shooting on film. Do you know how many fucking takes just to get this day player to say, sorry, miss, there's no tables available?
Oh, no.
David Chase was like, you seem like a snooty Connecticut girl. So we're just going to have you be the snooty hostess that turns her down. I was like, okay. So I did that. And then that was it. The show was over and I left. But I remember reading that script and calling my mom and being like, Ma, I have a tiny part, one line, but you need to read this script. And I brought it to her because she's a writer and she's a writing teacher. I was like, this is the most beautiful show I've ever read. I was like, it'll never get made because it's perfect. It won't ever hit the screen or a network would never pick it up. And it's out there. I was like, where can this possibly be? It wasn't a network show. And there was no cable TV yet. There was we had Oz, which was amazing. You guys don't know Oz.
It's intense, yeah.
You guys are young maybe for it.
No, for sure. It's I have trouble watching really intense prison stuff.
So good.
So I know how good of a show it is. It's yeah.
It was really good. You got to check it out. Yeah. It's nuts.
It's gnarly.
It's the best male soap opera of all time, even better than Rides of Our Lives, which I call Sons of Anarchy. Rides of Our Lives. Anyway, so I went in for the series. The series got picked up and they called me again to come in. And I was at my parents' house in Queens and they called me, was it beeper? I don't know. It was a beeper. And I call and I'm like, I'm in Queens. I can't come in. They're like, you need to come in right now. And I'm like, I'm in Queens. I'm not coming in. Sorry. And they're like, that's funny because we're in Queens. And my mother's looking at me across the room. She's like, what's going on? And I'm like, they want me to come in for that show again, that Sopranos show. She goes, do you remember that script? She goes, no. You're going. We're taking you. She goes into the safe. She pulls out my nameplate and diamonds because, I grew up in Queens. So I had it. Course, all good Italian girls have their fucking nameplate and diamonds on a rope chain. She puts it around my neck and she says, what is your line? And I said, Mom, it's one line. It's ow. She goes, you turn that out into a 12-syllable word, like your neighbors. Ow. One of these things. And my grandma made us chicken cutlet Parmesan Heroes because we were about to eat chicken cutlets. And I'll never forget. And we sat in the car outside of Silver Cup Studios eating chicken cutlet Parm Heroes. And I went in and I said, ow. And I dragged out my ow for 10 minutes. And I got the part. And they will always say that I got that part because of how I said ow, which was funny. But I went in there real tacky. I knew I was going in to be, I had my hair up on one side like I do now. It's my signature hairdo. And I had the accent. And I didn't even, when I met them, I wouldn't even speak with my regular accent. I was like, no, I talk like this. I don't even know if you remember me from the pilot, but I don't think they knew I was the same person.
Wow.
I don't think they knew I was the same person. And then when they realized it was the same fucking person, they made her a hostess in the restaurant. I have to ask David Chase that question. And then I kept getting script after script. He kept writing more. And he said to me the other day, we were at a panel, the 25th anniversary panel. And there was dinner after, and he said, do you remember when I pulled you outside at Craft Services and told you were going to be a big star? And I was like, oh my God, I don't remember that. But I love David so much. That changed my life,
Yeah.
Forever humbled by being on that show as a day player. I'll never forget, the Honey Wagons have, it's a toilet. It's just all toilet bowls.
Right.
And a cushion on your toilet bowl. That's how all the actors show up to work. The people that are just the day players and not the series regulars, they sit in a Honey Wagon. It's a toilet. And I would sit on my toilet with my cushion on my toilet and read the scripts and see what scenes I was in. Because he would call me in again and again and again. And then finally by episode 10, maybe it was, I think, the music episode, which I know wasn't the best Sopranos episode, but it was my episode where they really brought me into the show. And I ran to a phone booth and I was like, Mom, I'm on almost every fucking page. They gotta make me a regular now. And then I was a regular by the next season.
That's incredible.
That's
So
so
it was
fucking
cool.
cool.
It was cool, guys. It really was. And I'm still so grateful.
That's amazing. Wow.
I mean, that's such a good lesson too of like, you know, not only seizing an opportunity, but really like putting your all into it and going out there and doing it, right? Like, I think
I didn't even know what I was doing. I wasn't even really an actor. I was coming out of film school. I didn't really know what I was doing. Michael Imperioli was so fantastic. He's such a good actor. And he carried me. That's how it felt to me, at least. I felt like he was my acting teacher through that show. I got nervous when I had to act with other people on the show. I was very used to just being with him, and I knew that he had me. And I also watched my mom teach for so many years. And watching someone teach writing is not really different than watching an acting teacher teach acting, because you're keeping the person active. Even the same as writing a comic book. Like, your comic book's going to fall flat if there's no action, right? If you're not doing something all the time. And it's the same thing for the writer critiquing the writing, you know, the writing teacher and the actors and all that stuff. A script has to stay active all the time.
Yeah, keep those characters making those conscious decisions in the face of conflict, right? Like,
Always.
keep driving that thing forward. I love it.
Totally. So that's how I learned how to act, really, was listening to her teach writing.
Yeah, you had so much of it around you from film school and your mother, and yeah, it's like you were in that world.
I'm not really good at it. I'm not really good at it.
Well,
I will say that. I am. If anything, I'm a better.
Humility.
No, it's not humility.
I would argue with you on that, but that's okay.
Maybe back at Soprano days, I can't even watch myself. But back then, like, I felt like even my accent was so phony, and like it was hard for me to watch it.
But that's a good awareness, I think, to have as an actor or an actress. Like, it's if you're able to see that and then change because of that, become better. Because I know so many people that I watch their stuff. I've been on shows with them, and I know I've done some really terrible work in my day.
Me too, man.
You know,
Me too.
It's part of it, I think, you know, and also just evolving as an actor. But I've seen people that were horrendous and they thought they were God's gift to earth. And I'm sitting here like, bro, how do we talk about this?
Oh no.
You know, and it's like, if I can sit there and watch myself and say, I wish I made some different choices in that situation, you know, but, and try to evolve and grow. But to have that ability, you know, that's a gift in and of itself, but that self-awareness, you know? And so I think that in some way has to pay a huge, you know, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, role homage.
I think there's something innately human too about like hearing yourself on a microphone or something, you know? I think everyone just has that. It's harder to judge yourself than it is to like accept other people's versions of it, if that makes sense.
Or maybe it's easier to judge yourself.
Yeah, I don't even think about myself
harder to
that much anymore. I don't think about it.
Yeah, you're harder on yourself than other people are, right? It's like,
always.
Yeah.
Always. I'm watching my kids now go through that with like turning into teenagers and going from little kids to not giving a shit. It's so interesting to watch little kids and try to understand how to get back to acting like that, because when you're acting, or just living your life, when you have no self-awareness and then all of a sudden that self-awareness comes crashing down, it's debilitating.
Yeah.
So I do have self-awareness, but I probably don't have that much because I don't really have a filter or an edit button. I've never been allowed to do press. I'm only doing it lately. Yeah. I'm probably going to get even more destroyed for even being out there talking. So I'm trying to be on my best behavior, guys, today. Since I was crazy in New York last week.
Oh, were you? Oh, that's awesome.
Authenticity is the currency of the future. That's what I like to say.
Let's see about that, because, you know, now they just want us to be a bunch of fucking sheeple.
But I think that destroys, even from an art perspective, that destroys art. You know,
100%.
If everyone followed the rules, we wouldn't have art. It'd be the most boring thing in the world, and nothing would be entertaining, nothing. And then there's a lot of content, a lot of film, TV, a lot of art, a lot of everything that does that. And then, you know, nobody's talking about it.
No,
okay.
Well, everything's too saturated now.
Is it just about making $1 now? Is it just about, you know, having an agenda of what you want to put out there? It's just, it's not real art. And I think that having the ability to be yourself, your true authentic self, and show up in the world, and not being afraid to do that. There's not only freedom in that, but there's you make a wave, you make a statement, you make it okay for other people to do that. And I think that's what we need. I don't, like you said, sheeple, right? Like if everybody was the same, it'd be the most boring place in the entire world.
Well, that's what they've been trying to do for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
In my opinion. In my humble opinion, with no edit button.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of those like dystopian novels like The Giver, where they take away like all color and all emotion and all feelings. So the world is just like black and white and everyone's
Is that
gets
the
assigned
Lowry
a job.
book?
Ooh, I
Which
should
one is
know the
that?
author actually. I can't remember. Spencer, who
Giver?
wrote The Giver?
The Giver. Isn't that what Blackjack was just reading? Am I crazy? It's a sci-fi, right?
Lois Lowry.
Yes.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is Lowry.
Great call.
Shit. No, because my son was just reading it, or I would not have known.
I read it in like 5th or 6th grade.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Like,
He's in 7th.
Yeah, or 7th probably then, 7th or 8th. But like it stuck with me, that feeling of like blandness, right?
Yeah.
And like you're saying, you got to be yourself to stand out and encourage others to do the same.
You don't want to get me started on that topic. I will fucking take it down to Chinatown. I will take it down, that subject. I have a problem with all of that. I feel like people's unique qualities should have always been unique. Like, why make everybody the same? I mean, it bummed me out even with the whole gay thing that was happening. I'm like, but my gay friends are so fucking awesome and colorful and unique. And why no, Biden, let them just be who they were. Why are you turning it into this other fucking psycho shit? It's like, it just got all too crazy. I love that people are unique and have their own vibe.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody doesn't have to be the same. Doesn't have to, equality, yes, but not like this other thing. It is like everything just becomes gray after a while.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's nothing there. There's no substance. There's no like, I mean, think about like the clothes we're all wearing, right? The fashion, the choices we make, the cars we drive.
Everything's safe now.
Yeah.
Safe.
Yeah.
Can't even make those TV shows anymore. Sopranos couldn't get made today.
Yeah.
There's no way.
The best entertainment in the world can't get made today.
No.
Yeah. Which is such a crazy thing because we had a comedian, a friend of ours on yesterday too. And it's comedy's in that same kind of, or it's been in that same kind of boat where it's like you have to check every box to make sure it's okay to talk about things so people feel comfortable,
Yeah.
you know? And then, but that's the problem with that is you can't make everyone happy.
No.
Because everyone's not happy, right? And so people are going to find things to be pissed
People
about.
are thoroughly unhappy, I've noticed lately.
More than the latter, I would say. Yeah.
I think these computers have made people really pissed off. The hatred behind those little fingers going all day, people just bashing on each other on social media. I'm like, wow, man.
Yeah.
Keyboard warriors.
It's insane. I don't even understand it.
I've dreamt many times about being born in the wrong era. I was like, why can't I just have a sword? Why can't I just have a sword right now?
You look like you're.
I don't know if it's going to end well for me in that case, but
you don't even need a sword.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just Thor with your bare hands, man.
There was a period in my time where I did throw people very often. I did this trip in Croatia with some friends, and there were some people that got onto the boat that weren't supposed to be there, and they were bugging some of my girlfriends, you know, I was like, look, are you done? I would talk to my friend and she'd be like, look, I'm done talking to this guy. I'm like, all right, hey, off to the Atlantic you go, my friend. And I would just.
Amazing. Is there video of that?
There might be somewhere.
Need to see that.
I would have liked to see that.
Yeah. I think I threw 6 people that weekend.
Oh my goodness. You couldn't do that today.
No.
We need to make
big trups.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to make our own Roadhouse. We got that sequel coming out.
Oh my God. Security. Just call Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be I mean, look, I'm for it. I'm for that. If we can make that happen, I'm in. Did you ever end up directing? Is that
Nope.
You had no desire to do it after?
I never did it.
Yeah.
I never did it. I had kids.
Yeah.
So I guess I was direct. I'm still directing.
You are directing.
I love
directing
that.
life.
Yeah. So when I had kids, man, I just didn't care about anything else anymore. I didn't care about my career. I didn't care about the art. I didn't care about, I haven't watched films. That's why I didn't even know what you were talking about before. I haven't watched TV shows. Everything became hyper-focused on these 2 little people. And then the world went crazy.
Yeah.
And now I'm even more focused on them to make sure that they're not a part of that.
Right.
So that they know how to navigate it. So
How would you say that shifted your life having kids?
Oh my God. I joke around that I was born on the day my daughter was born, my first child. That was the beginning of my life.
Wow.
I don't even know what the fuck I was doing before that and why I was waiting so long to have children. It really is the answer to a lot of things. All the questions that you have that you're like, I don't understand. Why do I feel this way? You have kids and then you understand everything all of a sudden. It's so friggin' weird. They're your teachers.
Wow.
I basically made my two best friends and they're also my teachers. I just have to guide them while they're teaching me the whole way.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
That is cool.
That's beautiful. It really is. It's a great description.
If you're lucky enough to have cool kids like mine. Not everybody has the coolest kids like mine, but maybe it's because I whip them into shape all the time without whipping them. Take it easy, everyone.
Yeah, they're cool because you're cool, right? It's like, yeah.
They're cool. Luckily, because they didn't have it. We had a breakup and it's not always easy on little kids. And they had to definitely walk through a lot of that sort of switching homes, not wanting to do that.
Yeah.
I know that very well, for sure.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, it's a different. I didn't realize it because it was such a normal in my life as a kid.
You too?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't have that. So
You stayed in the same
I was
place
with both my parents.
Yeah.
But they were crazy too.
Yeah.
So I was raised by nanny.
Yeah, my parents got divorced when I was a baby, and then they each got divorced again after that. Nothing crazy, just like
my
that
kids
shift,
went through that.
right? Yeah. I was always very close with my brother and my parents, so I never felt like it was anything that had any crazy trauma associated with it because we were still always together.
Yeah,
if that
that's
makes
awesome.
sense. I feel like I got really lucky in that way.
Also, so that was good for them to be together.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say I moved. I can't remember a time that we didn't move at least once a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Switched high school. High school's 9 times. Middle school was 6 times, 6 times.
What?
Elementary, I don't even remember. Yeah.
All in LA?
No. Some Florida, a lot of Southern California, Northern California as well.
Army parents?
Crazy. Just crazy
Was it?
parents. Yeah.
Oh, just crazy?
No, yeah, not Army. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah. So,
hippies? Crazy hippies?
no, just
going on,
crazy.
Brock?
Crazy. I think
Let's talk about
my dad
it.
could have fit into the Sopranos or Sons of Anarchy kind of life. So I was exposed to a lot of stuff early on. But I ended up, it's funny because I think maybe it was so normal to me. I ended up liking being the new guy all the time because I could just create a new life, a new character. I'm like, oh, it kind of sucks now. We're 6 months in. I'm going to go, what am I going to try this time? And so I'd move somewhere else and kind of step into a different person. I think that's where I really fell in love with acting was I just was doing that in my real life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's when you get, there's no blueprint of like the perfect way to be raised or, or to raise somebody, and you kind of figure out how you do it as you go, I think. But that exposure to me was a blessing in the sense that.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
There's like 9 of us, 8 of us.
Oh,
yeah.
Were you all moving together?
5 are immediate, and then my parents were divorced, so they would split, time every now and again. But yeah,
this is a gypsy caravan.
Yeah, absolutely. Which
I
I fell in
like
love with that. I fell in love with that lifestyle.
Yeah,
right?
that's why you have a camper outside.
Exactly. I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
anytime.
I
Anywhere.
dig it.
Yeah, but I think it's getting that exposure though, and then that ability to connect with people. I always wanted to have, those friends from childhood that, I'd go to these schools and I'd see these people that had been friends for 15 years, 16 years already, even after 20 plus. And I wanted it, but then at the same time, I was always so focused on growing as a person and evolving that I realized I started to outgrow people, friends, and then all of a sudden I ended up landing with my people, the people that, okay, we want to go farther, we want to go higher, we want to evolve, help each other instead of just like everyone's trying to, there's a lot of people that I think try to get you down and they try to pull you down all the time.
All day.
Yeah. And if you have a dream too, if you're a dreamer, they don't want to see you fly.
Nope. Can't be around those people.
Yeah. And you shouldn't. Have you, I'm guessing you've dealt with that a little bit in your life?
Oh my God. I feel like everybody, I even noticed what I went through in the last 3 years has been completely rough, but a lot of people do like to just keep you in a box or they like it better when you're down, easier to manage. But I have definitely jumped around in my lifetime just because nobody was on the same dreamscape as me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm not married. I've jumped around. Robbie's my new dreamer over there.
Yeah,
We're always
buddy.
dreaming big about things. My last relationship was keeping shit small. Yeah, I can't hang with that. It's so stifling.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where my energy's directed half the time, but it definitely isn't in just stagnation.
Mm.
I'll sit still for a while trying to figure out what the next moves are, but don't ever mistake that stillness for nothingness.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. I love that. Yeah. It's there's something in even just being an artist. I think that it's just not, you don't think you don't operate the same way, you know? And I think if you're a big dreamer, and especially someone who's achieved such big dreams, I feel there's no sense in limiting yourself because you know it's possible. And when you could see someone's possible, like for me, when you surround yourself with those people, all they're going to do is keep you there, keep you down. I've always said it as like you're on a ship, right? You have your own ship and you're trying to get across the ocean, and people are like anchors to a degree. They can be you, and you have to teach people how to treat you. So what's going to happen when you teach people how to treat you is you're either going to reel them in, they're going to come with you, they're going to treat you how you deserve to be treated, and you guys are all going to get along, you're in the same place, or you're going to realize that person's trying to keep me stuck right now, so I got to drop the anchor, you know? And then you keep moving forward, and you can be the most powerful ship in the world. You might be able to pull 3 or 4 anchors, but it's slowing you down from where you're supposed to go and how you're supposed to get there, right? So really being aware of who's in your circle, in your life, and how it affects you, and it really changes, I think, your trajectory and where you're supposed to be. Yeah, so.
Right now, what you're saying is really resonating for Robbie over here. I can tell. Robbie's going through one of those moments in his life right now. It's about to jump onto the other side.
Yeah.
But I know what you're talking about. And it's that being held down by certain friends and stuff. It's painful to have to cut that loose sometimes because you don't want to hurt anybody, or a lot of people don't have your best interests, and they really don't. And it's fun to tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But yeah, and I'm also a lot older than you guys. So people are just going to come and go, man.
Yeah.
You know, I have some friends from being a kid, but not many.
Yeah.
I moved around too, and my life changed and evolved, and I left a lot of people behind. And that's what's great about all your social media platforms. You can say hi to people every now and then that you wouldn't normally say hi to. Like a text message is more formal, but like social media, I just saw that you blah, blah, blah. But as far as like really maintaining deep relations with people, I have my friend crew, but I don't have that crew of people like entourage, you know. I used to when I was younger, but I also realized that a lot of it was fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And everybody was just, waiting for the party. And then when the party dies down, shit gets real. I don't know if very many people stick around for that.
Yeah. Well, that's when you really realize someone's true character and intentions, right? It's when
I think
you're down.
A lot of people recognize that in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And you kind of, on television shows too, they're kind of like crews around you as well, like physically, literally, and metaphorically, right? So like going from a show like Sopranos to a Sons of Anarchy.
Different families.
Right?
Yeah.
Did Adriana inform how Wendy was portrayed, or, how were those relationships different from show to show? Did it evolve or adapt, or?
I think that when a lot of these show creators and stuff, everybody loves Adriana. It's hard to get away from that. I don't care. When I was younger, I did care. I was very precious about being typecast and playing a role like that again and repeatedly. Now, all I want is to do Adriana again with the accent. I just want to live in that role for the rest of my life because it was the best one. So when I did Sons, that was another situation where there was no role written.
Oh, wow.
They asked me to do the pilot as a favor. It was John Linson, this guy John Linson, and he was friends with an old friend of mine. It was really just a favor to do their pilot because they didn't have anybody in it that anybody knew yet, except for Katie. So Katie Seagal, and it would have been me. The other characters weren't like super well known on television. Some film actors and stuff, and great actors. But I die in the pilot of that show. I mean, I die. So that's it. Just dead. You know? When FX heard that they got me to do it, they were like, well, would she stay? And they asked me if I'd stay. And I said, of course I'll stay. But is there a role? I mean, what are you going to do with me? I just died. They brought her back to life and kept her.
Wow.
I didn't know what they were going to do with her. So that was a little confusing in the beginning about where she was going to go. But we knew she was a victim, and we knew she was Jax's victim.
Yeah.
And that was, and then this was a shitty thing. The show tested really great. That was a great thing. But then they didn't need me. And they were paying me too much money, I guess, in their minds, just to stick around for a couple of episodes. And they were like, we're going to cut your pay in half because we don't really need you. And when you hear that, that was my second big show. And I'm like, fuck this industry. We don't need you. Like, so now we're going to cut your pay in half? Like, what the fuck kind of bullshit is that? That doesn't do wonders for your ego.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not exactly teamwork, right?
No.
There's not.
But I could have stayed. Like a lot of actors might have stayed. I said, fuck you. I'm out of here. And I went and did Desperate Housewives instead. And then I watched the show and I was like, all my friends are like, Dre, you need to go back. Because now it was like our soap opera. And I watched it while I was sick. And I texted Kurt Sutter and I go, yo, just bring me back for what? I'll just do it for nothing. I don't care. Just let's fuck shit up right now. Bring her back just to mess with people. And we did. And I basically did that show for almost nothing.
Wow.
And that's the truth. It was more like just going in to do it. And then the season finale, they needed her to stay, and they needed the character to stay in one place because I was never in town. He'd call me and be like, can you do it this week? Can you come in? This was always like a last minute thing. I was never really a character on Sons. And that's weird because people really associate me with that show to a large degree. Not as much as Sopranos, but it is funny because I was never regular on Sons.
Yeah, that is a crazy story. I don't know how all that like worked out. And then, yeah, wow.
The last season was really the only season where they paid me to stay in one place.
Wow. Where'd they film that? Was that out here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Valley.
That's awesome.
Wow. Wendy. But Wendy was, they even, I don't know if you've watched Sons, but there is a line. I can't believe they did this, but they've done this on a couple of shows. But they say it to me. Like, be careful or I'll Adriana you or something. They say it.
Wow.
to Wendy.
Wow.
I think.
I've literally seen every episode.
They say it on the show. You can probably Google that shit and you'll find it.
That's great. I'll go back to it for sure. That's amazing.
Unless they say it to somebody else. Be careful. A lot of people say that because it's like it's a good reference, but
no, for sure.
With me there, how silly.
That's a great Easter egg. I got to go back and find that one.
Obviously, I know we ran into each other. We met the first time at Metallica, right?
I thought I met you at the gun range, but nope, it was Metallica. But you were with Taran. Are you friends with Taran?
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay.
He was a part of a film. I was getting ready for a film, actually. And then so I was training at his place. And then we just, became friends. And he's a hell of a shooter. So.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
I mean, that night, I remember it because we were walking and Robbie, my boyfriend, I keep talking about Robbie, guys. Robbie sees Taran.
Right here,
hi, Robbie. Robbie sees Taran and he's like fucking nudging me. He's like, we gotta say hello to this guy. And then I think he went up to Taran like he was the biggest star at the entire concert. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
That's how we met Taran. We met Taran that night.
Oh, really? You hadn't met him? Yeah, he was geeking out the whole night. He was so fired up to meet you guys.
Oh, with us. Yeah. He was excited. But he went up to him and was like, can we please say hello to you?
Oh, I didn't know you guys didn't know each other.
No, we didn't know him.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Taran's a good dude. I like him and we had fun at that concert too.
I like his girlfriend.
Tatiana?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, she's a fucking superhero.
Yeah.
She's a comic book character.
Yeah.
I mean, she is the most fucking tough bitch ever.
Yeah. She can do anything.
She's so hot.
She's jumping off horses and shooting things upside down and
love that.
She's hot. Yeah.
Shout out.
She's
yeah,
so
Tatiana's
hot. I love her.
Yeah. She's gonna love that. I'll send it to her because I've been telling Taran and her to come on the podcast. So
Yeah, that'd be great.
we'll
Oh,
get
she would love it.
Yeah,
she's full of piss and vinegar. I love her, man.
yeah.
I can watch her videos on Instagram all day.
That's awesome.
I gotta check it out.
She's incredible.
She's wild. She shoots,
Watching her body just, I mean, I wish I could do the things she does.
Yeah, she can do any. She basically a contortionist, right? Like she can do anything.
And graceful. She's which character is she in the video game? What video game is it? Do you know?
Call of
Robbie?
Duty. Call of Duty.
It's Call of Duty.
I think
Is
it's
it Call of Duty?
Yeah.
You don't know?
I think it's Call of Duty.
I think so. And she's like, she looks like Tomb Raider. Like it looks like every superhero was based on her.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you would like her.
No, for sure. Our comic book character McKenna is kind of based off, Laura Croft and Black Widow and
Is
stuff
McKenna
like that.
me right there with the big boobs?
Yeah,
That's me. I'm going to call McKenna Dre from now on.
yeah. No, for sure. I haven't met Taran or Tatiana, but obviously I hear about them all the time through Brock and a few other friends that know them. But they are top of the line when it comes to stunt work and ranges and all that. So it would be really cool to meet them or talk to them.
Every chick that works there training everybody, they're all the hottest chicks you've ever fucking seen.
It's so funny.
It's my favorite place to go.
Yeah, and they can all shoot too. Like
they're badass bitches.
Yeah.
James Bond bitches.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they could fit in any one of those. Yeah. And without even missing a beat.
I like that he has. I've never met a man training anybody there. Have you?
No. Oh,
There's not
no.
one
Besides
man.
Taran, no. Yeah.
It's just Taran
Actually, now that you
and
mention
like
it, I didn't even think of that.
chicks
Yeah.
with guns.
That's hilarious.
I love it.
And they shoot better than all the guys.
Yeah, they were sick.
Did you guys get to shoot there? Were you?
Yeah, but I'm always like, with my nails and this hurts my. But I love Taran's guns. I don't like my gun. But Robbie loves shooting there.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get back out there one time.
Yeah, you gotta take me.
That'd be cool, man. That'd be a lot of fun.
It's cool. It's not PC. We're sorry, guys. To protect yourself.
For me too, because a lot of the characters I want to play, and one of the roles I'm getting ready for right now, it's a lot of guns, Navy SEAL and all that. So, I mean,
it's a part of training.
Our military, the whole country was founded off of.
I mean, you look like you should be training all day.
I try. I try as much as I can. To be honest,
there's guns inside your arms.
Yeah.
Your fingertips shoot bullets.
Just turn into a full what do they call them? Gatling gun or something?
Cyborg?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's Arnold, something like that, right? But no, yeah, I was talking about music too. I feel like music you're very connected to music in some ways. Have you always been? Oh, yes. Yeah.
Very connected to music as I stare at Robbie over there from all them witches.
Yeah.
I know, it's true. I jump around from I'm going through every member of the band because I'm a crazy groupie. I'm just kidding. Robbie's like, this fucking bitch.
It's not what I meant when I asked the question, but hey.
But I have no edit button, guys.
No.
Well, my baby daddy is Shooter Jennings. I don't know if you guys know who Shooter Jennings is, but he's pretty awesome. So that's the baby daddy. So obviously there's a musical family. My kids both play music. I mean, mostly my daughter. My son can play music, but doesn't really. And then I've been dating musicians for a while. I probably wouldn't have dated another one, but this guy was too cool. He was too cool. No more musicians ever again. This hopefully is the last stop. No more musicians. But because it's heartbreaking. It's a heartbreaking business. It's like our business. It's a nightmare. It's up and down. It's all over the place. And we always have sort of those bottomless pits of creativity that you don't know where to put half the time.
Yeah. Which
is why he and I started the UltraFree company, which is based a lot in kind of the whole music world too. Because he makes all the merch for his band. And the merch does super well, and now we're just doing it. But yes, I love music so much. I feel like it is the one thing that can unite a group of people that have nothing in common. And for that, I just think it's magic. I think music's magic. I probably would have loved to have been a musician myself, which is maybe why I dated so many musicians. I'm always like, you can do more. You can do this. I'm like a micromanager of the musician in my life. And now I have my daughter. So now I don't micromanage Robbie or any of the men that I date anymore as far as their music career goes. But I have my baby, and she's probably going to play music, and I'll do everything to make her extremely comfortable so she can pursue her art. I think music's the most important art form. That's not true. I mean, I love all art forms are important.
No, but there's something
Music's
special
so
about music.
immediate.
Yeah. And music can take you back to a moment 30 years ago, just like it's nothing, you know?
I love it so much. It just gives you vibes, you know, vibes are everything, man.
For sure. I mean, that's so cool too. You had, you know, film and writing with your mother, and now you can have music with your daughter. That's great.
Yeah.
You know, that's special.
She looks just like my mom too.
That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. She's her twin, and she's a writer. She can do anything. She's an insane visual artist.
Oh,
It's everything with her hands. Her hands are literal magic. When she was born, I looked at her hands and I go, shooter, look at her fucking hands. Her hands are the most beautiful hands I've ever seen on a baby. Their fingers were so long, and to see her evolve and everything comes out of her hands it's cool.
That creativity. Yeah. God's gift.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So what do you have going on right now? You say you got the merch, the clothing, you got, where can people find that?
At ultrafree.co.
There we go.
And our Instagram is UltraFree with 2 A's. And so is our Twitter. We might be shadow banned already just because the word free is in there, which no one likes that word.
Which is
freedom.
ironic, right?
Yeah. Freedom is a 4-letter word now. So is truth. They don't like these words.
And we'll put it all in the description below as well.
Yeah, you'll. I thought you were going to say I'm going to delete all of what you just said because we don't want to be shadow banned by using the word freedom.
If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So we'll go out guns blazing.
Oh yeah, let's go out with me. But
on our 100th episode.
Thanks for having me on the 100th episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to make you guys
special.
ultra free here today.
Let's go.
I'm going to promote the motherfucking ultra free. The ultra free it's everything that we've been talking about, really, wrapped up in one message, which is we kind of have to get back to being kids again and feeling free.
Yeah.
So anything that kind of keeps you caged in, and it can be anything from something physical, mental, state of mind. It can be your government. It can be, too much homework for somebody. It's for something for everybody kind of thing. To get back to feeling whatever makes you feel free kind of thing. And everybody's been so ultra everything else, but no one's really been ultra free lately. Everybody's totally caged in. So that's kind of the message behind the brand.
I love that. Yeah.
We talk a lot about that too, like having outlets, for creativity, having outlets for exercise. Like we all have kind of different ways of, call it an outlet, call it a way to be free. It's all liberating, I think.
But I think that's also as a human existing here on earth, freedom is the goal, like to be able to, there's so many different goals, right? I'm not going to sum it up to just that, but if you had the ability to be free, you had all the time in the world to do whatever you wanted, and you didn't feel anything weighing down on you, taxes and, a job, a career, socially, social systems where you got to put up a face and do all this stuff. If you were just free to exist, think about how blissful, how peaceful that is. That's for me, building that truck and having a trailer. I can go out in the middle of the woods and not have a single cell signal or person around me, and I'm just there. And that recharge to me is, I wouldn't trade it for anything. You know? And I don't get it enough. I know that. And as much as I'm a part of this world too, there's something about that you can't replace. And so I love that you guys have UltraFree, and that's what you're talking about, because that is that's what it's all about.
Well, we almost lost everything. So that was, and you're saying taxes and this and that. Yeah. I mean, living in California, it's easy to lose it all. We almost thought we were going to be living in a trailer,
Get
on
one
the side
like that
of the
if
road.
you're going to do it. Yeah.
Not up here in the hills though, in the flats, man, with a bunch of other trailers. We were this close until I was like, fuck it. How can I free myself from this situation? And not everybody's going to have the luxury to do what I did, But that's why I started that OnlyFans page, so that I could take that, save my house, and then free myself, because I felt like I had a fucking noose around my neck, and start putting aside money to build a company where I don't have to work within Hollywood anymore.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like a lot of these people really, nobody cares about each other. And I care about that. I really care about caring about each other.
Yeah.
I think it's important. And these people are savages, and not the good savage.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what it was born out of, really.
The greatest political document ever written in human history is the United States Constitution.
Well, all right, you're one of those.
Will fully like die by that thought. Like, that is, no other time in human history have there been this amount of people this free. And, you know, I think that's great to, you know, have a company that represents that and stands by that, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it is that too. I mean, it is about America to a large degree. Listen, since I'm a little girl, my favorite colors were red, white, and blue. I don't know why, but they always were. And I always said it, red, white, and blue, you know. And
I didn't mean to like make it political or tie that to the brand.
Oh, no, you can make it political.
I just meant like.
Isn't everything political?
Right.
Fucking everything's political.
Yeah,
but I'm such a hippie that I'm just like, and people think that because I'm preaching freedom, that makes me like a right-wing supremacist. And I'm like, but it's the opposite, man. Like, the fact that you want to silence so many great journalists that are still out there that are trying to bring you the truth, and now they're pegged as liars, and even certain politicians that are trying to help. Some, not all, because I know politicians are politicians, but there are people out there trying to bring the truth out there, and a lot of this shit is not constitutional friendly. You know, they're trying to mess with all of our rights. I mean, they're trying to degrade us, I feel like, to a large degree, all by design. And the ultra freedom thing is, we got to get back to, you know, I know the whole hippie thing, some people look at it like it was a big psyop in the 60s, but for people who don't know that sort of stuff and just think of hippies, like, we got to get back to feeling like we're hippies that care about war and hatred and people hating on each other, like all these crazy ideologies that came up where they were meant to unify, and all this equity and inclusivity, and that all they did was alienate everybody from each other.
Yeah.
And that's not it. That's not ultra freedom.
We're in a time now with social media and media and just everything in general that's online. You're able to connect with people like never before, you know?
Yeah.
But I think people feel more disconnected than they've ever felt.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a wild thing to think about, but it's also a wild thing to be living in.
Yeah.
You know?
It's really hard. It's it's such a deep thing. Like, even with the politics of America right now, like, I have been speaking out about a lot of things. I'm not an actor that gets out and talks about politics like I would ever give a shit about that stuff in my lifetime. But now that I have kids, it's more about watching what happened in the last 3 years. This isn't about politics anymore. This is about humanity and what's happening to it in the face of the politics that are being put forward with technology combined. I mean, the bad shit's always been happening, but the technology being out there, being able to either manifest shit for bad or for good, a lot of the bad stuff's coming through.
And it amplifies it.
It's dangerous.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, I look at everything and I look at the irony of France passing a law like yesterday where it's illegal to criticize the vaccine.
I love these conversations.
And now
I start to get all excited now. Now I'm in my element. I'm sorry.
All good. Basically the same day as a study's released that, you know, there were some adverse effects. And that's YouTube. That's not me saying it. That's a report from The Hill that looked at over 100 million people and looked at the studies and the adverse effects. So you have the same day, right? It's like a law to ban it, but here's a study saying there's adverse effects. So like there's hypocrisy everywhere. You just got to look for the truth.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think with the hypocrisy too, it's like, you know, there's been this whole cancel culture over
rambling.
the years. No.
I'm so excited. You guys wanted me to talk about acting. Now I'm like, the podcast has really begun. Let me loose. I'm just kidding.
It's like, how much time do you have? No, yeah, but it's been interesting to watch it from an outside perspective to the degree of like, people getting, let's say, canceled, right? Who chooses that? And why does it seem like
I
so
do. I choose.
biased?
I'm going to be the person to choose to cancel everybody
Okay.
now. It's going to be my new job.
Okay.
Just kidding.
You're hired. I would actually like to see that.
And you out.
But it seems like some people do the same thing, right? And then other people, some are praised for it, and others, their entire career in life is destroyed because of it. You know, it's like where's the through line in all of it? How does it make any sense? It's just, to me, I'm trying to understand it, of like choosing these people to be these examples, right? And then they go over and beyond in it. But how does it? I don't even know what I'm really trying to say here. Besides, like, it's nuts. You can't just be a human and make a mistake anymore. You know?
I really choose to have more faith in human beings. I don't know. Like, you know, I've read some comments before of shit that people say about me, or even stuff that people say about other people out there. And I cannot believe how angry society is. And I can't help but think that part of it was created by design and just created by the powers that be. Even not even by design, but the way they've positioned everything. I mean, they're purposely turning people against each other.
Yeah.
There's that. Half of the people writing on the internet are bots. They're not even, or hired companies to degrade people, to discredit them. I mean, they don't want, for example, I mean, I probably can't even mention these names on here, but like, say somebody like Robert Kennedy, who has done so many insanely amazing things for the environment and society, and he's a lawyer. You know, he sued the right people and defended people who had issues with certain things, and he was coined a hero. If you look at like his magazine covers back in the 90s, and now he's considered this like piece of shit by the media. So whose fault is that? Do you really think that these journalists said, look at Robert Kennedy, what a piece of shit he is? No,
Yeah.
They were 100% paid to do that, because no one can look at this man's life path and say this guy was a piece of shit. It's impossible. Not even the most evil human being. And there was a Vanity Fair article written about him where they put him down so much. And then there's this amazing journalist, Jessica Reed Krause. She was the chick who followed the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard trials.
Oh, wow.
And I think her coverage of Johnny Depp basically, like, she got the public to like win him over by her coverage. It was really fucking funny. She's amazing. And now she's devoted her life. She's lost half her followers probably because that was a pop culture follow. And now she's got, she's following the whole election. She's following both. She's following Trump and Kennedy and covering them because nobody will cover them in the media. It's insane to see how it's just controlled and it's managed. And it's not, I really do believe that people don't want to be that hateful. Although some of them, the way they've been generated, you like, you know, jumping around going from house to house, or a lot of these kids are so fucking entitled and spoiled these days. And I don't really know if it's the parents that aren't strict enough, or I don't know what it is, but the sense of entitlement and not having to work. I mean, we were talking about comedians not even being allowed to be funny anymore. I mean, funny is funny. Like making fun of each other and ourselves and everyone around us, that shit's funny. We went to a comedy thing the other night for a Kennedy fundraiser, and man, you had to hear them rip. And this is like the hippie crowd. So this is the crowd of people that we used to be, kind of thing. But you can't do that in a regular crowd anymore. But they were ripping on everyone, especially the whole woke ideology, which was super fun. But if you do that in front of like some little wokey, they're gonna start crying and calling their mommy.
I always think of, you know, Gina Carano is now going back and suing Disney over that firing, right? And like you're starting to see that come back, and like, you know, it's like it's good to see some accountability maybe to these large corporations that have done things that may have not been legal.
The colleges, these colleges did to everybody, all these kids. It's insane.
Yeah.
I'll stop.
No, but,
I'll
you have a very valid point. I mean, the way that things have been shifted, you know, in the way that people react to things, it's like, I feel you see it all the time where I just wish that people were able to heal more, you know, whether it's through therapy or whatever version of whatever they need to get to that point. Because if someone sits there and says something bad to me, right, it's fully on me how I react to that. I can get angry. I can get physical. I can brush it off. I can smile. I can laugh at it. I can be empathetic and understand that person's probably not in a good place. It's probably why they're saying something bad in the first place. You can have a million reactions to it, right? So how are we at a point in society where if you don't like something, or you don't identify with something, or you don't like somebody did something that made you mad, now I'm the problem, or I have to deal with the problem.
I feel triggered right now.
I know, and I'm not sorry. You know what? For the first time, I'm not sorry.
I feel triggered. I feel uncomfortable. I think this might be a Me Too moment.
But that's
sorry.
I'm canceled. You're right. You did take the job. I'm canceled. But no, it's that's on me. You know, that's my reaction, and why would I project it onto somebody else to make it their problem? It's not fair. I need to take extreme ownership of my own life, my own emotions, and yeah, some things get me upset, some things piss me off, some things like make me happy, whatever the thing is. But why is it now that it's okay to just be a broken version and not try to heal, and then make that everyone else's problem? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I just feel like let's all have confidence in who we are, and I know that a lot of us don't. I was one of the people who had no confidence. We all grow into it, but you have to want to grow into it.
This, I heard it a while ago, and I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening to people's answers. It's if you could have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with 3 different people, who would they be, and what meal would you eat with them?
Oh my God, that is impossible.
Yeah.
That's a fucking hard one. I would have to really think about that. And
yeah, that's like a 30-minute.
Oh, we gotta go. Okay.
I don't have to go, but Spencer does.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know what? I'm going to, because I can't come up with a really awesome thing to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I would pull my mother out of dementia. I'd pull my father out of the grave. And then I would have my 2 kids in the middle. Aww. I would probably eat with my family.
That's awesome.
Again,
I love that.
Fuck the rest of these people.
Hey, there you go.
It's the best answer
there you
ever.
go. Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun.
I got further canceled just every day. One podcast at a time.
No, we're gonna bleep it out. So it's gonna be beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, you know? She says USA, we bleep it out. Freedom.
Thank you so much for coming. Honestly, that was like it's been a huge honor talking to you and hanging and getting to chat. So really appreciate it.
Well, happy birthday, guys! Happy 100th birthday.
Yeah,
you guys are older than me.
We are old as shit. Yeah.
All right, Penny, get over here.
Thank you for watching Studio 22.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And follow our socials at Studio 22 Podcast.